Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Waste World podcast. My name is Gage Edwards, and I am not your host today. Today's episode is hosted by Liz Bothwell, and she's sitting down with Joe Ursuy, and they're going to be talking about the financial side of the environmental services industry. As capital continues to flow into waste recycling and renewable energy, understanding how lenders and financial institutions view the space is becoming increasingly important for operators and investors alike. So I hope you enjoy their conversation, and before the jump, make sure you share the episode with someone, subscribe to the podcast on Spotify, Apple iTunes, or other podcasting services, leave us a review, and let us know what you think. Enjoy!
Joe, I'm so glad you're here, and I'm going to start right with this amazing Fifth Third Comerica acquisition.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic last few months, and they've had a really warm welcome for me and my teams.
Awesome.
And there's been a lot of team get-togethers and relationship building. We're on the environmental side. It's kind of plug and play. We're adding on a couple of bankers from the legacy Fifth Third side, and on the renewable energy side, we're kind of putting two teams together. But everyone's excited about the combination. It gives us new capabilities, so we're looking forward to playing a bit of offense here.
I mean, there's always, like you're saying, that talk about complementary strengths, and it's already starting to show up in the business. So what more do you hope to do there, I guess, that you necessarily couldn't do before?
I think we want to just grow, and we want to continue to grow. I think that fortunately my businesses historically have been growth businesses at Comerica, and picking up the legacy businesses at Fifth Third. They've been performing really nicely, and we just want to grow. And we have the scale to grow now. We have the capabilities to grow faster. So that's really the overarching theme. The other thing we want to make sure we're doing is aligning on strategy, and then just basic relationship building with our new teammates, and building trust and making sure that they understand, my vision for what I see these businesses in the future. I think it's largely continuing to prosecute the types of companies and work with the type of clients that we've worked with in the past. Just do more of it, and we have the capability to do that. As I mentioned, we have some more capabilities that we can offer, particularly on both businesses. On renewable energy, Fifth Third does tax equity investing. On the environmental side, just some more capabilities in terms of working with larger companies is going to really benefit us.
That's great. Good. And those relationships, I'm sure, will get fortified fast. I feel like that's a big strength of yours. So good luck with that.
I appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate that. We got our waste team together in Frisco about a month ago, and we got a renewable energy team together in Charlotte the week after that. So, I think that it kind of starts with me, right? It starts at the top, and I have to talk to them about my values, my beliefs, the standard that I want our teams to be held to, the standard that I believe in. And what I believe in is if we're going to play a game, we're going to play to win. And if we're going to be doing something, let's try to be the best at what we're doing. And that's just goes back to my background playing sports growing up and coaching, and I try to make it simple. And banking and lending is not a complicated activity. It comes back to we all there's whatever there are 4,000 banks in this country, 5,000 banks. They all have money. Do you add value, and do you have relationships? And are you able to work with the best people in a certain industry, the best clients, the highest character and integrity? And then if you can help solve their problems, or you can help them work through an issue that they're having, that's beyond just renting money. They're going to be a loyal disciple to you forever. And so that's the value add that we talk about, and that we really want to put ourselves in our owner's shoes, our client's shoes. What are their goals, and help them achieve their goals, and lay out a path for helping them to get there. Whether it's I want to transition this business over to my children over time, or I want to do a bunch of acquisitions in a very short order and get very large very quickly. How do I do that? We can kind of work on both ends of that spectrum, and that's what makes it fun. And that's really, if people ask me the best part of my career or my job, it's one, I've always felt supported by the organization, and I still do, big time here at Fifth Third. Two, I have unbelievable people that work with me, my teammates, just really talented, hardworking, humble, fantastic individuals that are they're good people with a capital G. And then finally, our clients, our relationships with our clients, whereby seeing them succeed and helping them through certain challenges that may exist is extremely rewarding. And that's the part that I love about my job.
Oh, that's a great part to love. That's fantastic. And Joe, the deal closed fast in 4 months. How was that possible?
Well, it's a little bit above my pay grade, but I think that Fifth Third was a very organized acquirer. They were ready to go on their end, and they have a lot of confidence that was built in them over the years with the regulators, which the regulators approved the transaction in a very short order. So they had the credibility to get it done quickly, and they certainly did.
That's great. Very impressive. And obviously, you talked about the leadership piece, and it all starts with you and how much your role has expanded. How does your day-to-day differ than it did before when you were at Comerica?
I think it's largely the same. I think, over the
Okay.
past 60 days, I've been, I talk about, banks kind of all do the same things, but I'm learning a little bit of a new language. So I think once I learn the new language, it's largely the same thing. And in my position, I'm really helping our team out. If you think of a barbell, one end is big opportunities, one end is problems. Everything in between, they're more than talented and equipped enough to handle everything in between. I just try to help out on the two extremes, and then really set the strategy and the vision, and the tone for the teams. And I always try to go with the thought that, or the saying that, I will never ask them to do something I wouldn't do myself. And I think that they don't see me as a leader that just sits in my office 5 days a week and it's more of an administrator, but I'm out with them. I'm out with clients. I'm out at conferences doing things like this. So trying to be out in front, and really work hard, frankly, with them, versus asking them to do a bunch of travel and work really hard. And I'm just sitting here. So, but really nothing has changed. I'm learning a little bit of a new language terminology, but it all gets back to the same thing.
Well, good. And you're a people first leader, so I think that shows itself in everything you're saying and how you're leading. So good for you. And
Thank
on the client side, how do you maintain client trust in a transition like this, especially in industries that we're in and that rely on these long-term relationships?
Yeah, I think it's a two-way street. And I think if our clients, we don't ask our clients to be perfect. We don't expect them to never have problems, but if they communicate with us and they're transparent, then we're going to help them through whatever they have going on in their situation. On our end, we just have to keep doing what we're doing and be consistent. And the good news is that my whole team from Legacy Comerica is over here, and there's a lot of talent. A lot of our credit people are over, so we're doing things that we did for the last 25 years, and we're going to be consistent with that. So from a client perspective, it's going to be seamless, and we believe it has been seamless so far. I mean, the deal's closed almost 60 days ago. Here we are at the end of March, so it should be seamless. I think that you know, I would ask our clients for a little bit of patience, but I don't believe, frankly, that we're going to need it. I think that we should be doing things that we've done for 25 years. Our behaviors should be the same. Our decision making should be the same, and that's top of mind for me and my leadership team here. And I know that, frankly, if you think about Fifth Third acquiring or merging with Comerica, you know. They spoke a lot about environmental services. The CEO, Tim Spence, who's been great, spoke a lot about environmental services publicly, and they want to grow the business, and I want to grow the business. So our interests are aligned, and we're not going to grow the business if we start changing our philosophy on credit availability and how we're dealing with issues in a portfolio over time. So we all want to grow the business. They're willing to invest in the business, asking what resources that we need to be successful, which is very refreshing to hear. And so our interests are aligned, and we're going to go out and execute on that.
That's great. Was there anything in the merger that surprised you at this point?
Well, having worked at one company for 27 years and really kind of I would say a narrow focus, running, some, energy and waste management / environmental. I had never been part of an entity that was acquired. So it was all kind of new to me. I've been pleasantly surprised by the commitment that has been shown to me and the team, the resources being offered, and frankly, just how smooth it's gone operationally, really thus far. I mean, I haven't, not that I'm a tech nerd, but I do look at tech, and there's been no glitches with our tech. It's been, knock on wood, just fantastic and been very seamless. Um, I would say the speed of the deal, was a little bit eye-opening to me. When you think about other bank M&A that's gone on, it's usually many, many more months than this took. But again, the credibility that they've set with their board, the shareholders, regulators, people that need to prove the transaction, that all gets done over many years. And then when you need to strike on something, they're able to get it done very quickly.
That is so impressive. And also hearing that the tech has gone smoothly is amazing, Joe.
Yeah. Again, I'm the last person to talk about this, but their tech focus and their payments platform, and Tim Spence was just on, I believe, Bloomberg last week talking about what we're doing with AI is very exciting. It'll make
That
us much more productive. And on the legacy Comerica side, we're kind of just getting into using Copilot, but it's I was kind of messing around with it yesterday, and it's going to make us very productive on the most simple things that you really wouldn't think about that we spend time on. So it's very exciting.
that is exciting. It must be interesting from your perspective, using it internally and then thinking about how your clients actually use it out in the market and in their own businesses.
Yeah, it's been great for the waste business. I mean, really, you think about a recycling facility and training a robot to pick certain types of materials, scan the materials, what is contaminated, what's not, and it's leading to a much cleaner recycling stream. Obviously, economically, it's a little bit of a capital investment for the recycling facility owner, and then it's offset by a lot less labor and probably a lot cleaner end product, so you get a better yield on your recycled. But and also in the collection on the collection side as well, with cameras and recognition and safety, I think it's been fantastic for the industry. And you see over the last several years the margins overall going up in the industry and the productivity going up, and that's all a big part of it. And I think the waste industry has even more it can do with AI over time. But yeah, it's been interesting, applying it inside the bank here, and I think we all use kind of AI, in our personal lives. But it's very exciting, and it's going to be something that increases our productivity materially.
That's great. And I can't wait to see where it all goes in all industries in say two more years.
Right. Exactly.
And our kids will definitely see it graduating college right now, where that takes them.
Absolutely. Yes.
So do you also see it, just not on the tech side, but what do you think waste partners or companies are looking for right now from their banking partners that maybe they weren't, say, 3 to 5 years ago, Joe?
It's a great question. I think that, the way that our value proposition and the way that we sell is particularly on, I think if you asked our clients, why do you work with Fifth Third Bank? One would be industry knowledge, and they can ask us questions about kind of anything going on. Two would be resources we can bring if somebody's having a problem with insurance or fires in their facility, or they want to do a landfill expansion. We know a ton of people that do lots of different things to help our owners. And then I think the last part is that we try to think like owners. Going back to that, we kind of laugh, and we tell our less experienced folks, say, don't act like a banker. Don't talk about numbers. Don't be stiff. Talk about the vision. Get inside that CEO or owner's head about what is your picture of where you want to take this business. And then our job is overlaying our services and what we can bring on to help them really achieve that. So I think industry knowledge, resources, commitment to the industry. I think that all the things that you would think about. The worst way to sell anything is on terms and price. At that point, you're just a commodity,
Mhm.
and we lose opportunities to other competitors that have great terms and great price. But if you're leading with that, if you it's like in basketball, if you live by the three, you die by the three. If you live by selling price, you die by selling price. And I think our clients would say, we have to be competitive, and we are very competitive, but there's a little bit of a premium to when if something goes bump in the night, something goes wrong, if a company is having distress, they know that we're the most patient capital out there,
Mhm.
and we will work with them on a shared solution to get them through the other side. And we've been doing that for 25 years. And one of the things I've been most proud of is that the beauty of the waste business is that it's very interconnected. Our clients are very interconnected. They know each other. So if you do a great job, everybody knows about it. But conversely, if you do something bad or if you burn somebody, everybody will know about it. And I take great pride that we've been doing this for 25 years. If we burned a lot of people, nobody would work with us. So consistency, decision making, how we've worked with people in times of distress over a long period of time. I'm really proud of that track record.
Well, you should be. It's amazing to be decades in and still have that, and we'll continue. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's nice to go to industry conferences and still have people like you versus versus the other situation. So, again, we just try to be fair, and we try to lay out the facts. And you notice how I'm always talking, not always, I'm frequently talking about when things go sideways or things go wrong. It's really easy to be uh, a bank and a banker or a relationship person when everything goes as planned. Um, you really earn your stripes and your loyalty when things are hard. And I think that I was in a management meeting with our CEO Tim Spence. I don't know, a week after the closing, and he talked about something like hard. My old leader used to say this: doing hard things is good. Hard is good, and because if you're doing something that's hard, it's meaningful, and um, and it's going to be very hard for others to replicate it.
Right. It's true. And then you learn so much in the hard, don't you? I mean, that's where you build those muscles.
You learn you learn a lot, and you're totally right on that. And I remember early in my career, I booked a really bad loan, and it went twist and turn, and it was a very painful experience. But the bank stood by me, and it was an incredible learning experience. I don't necessarily recommend everybody go through that. I would prefer to just tell them what happened versus them to experience it. But it was painful, but I learned a lot, and you learn a lot about like what not to do. And so I'm a big fan of when something's not working, do something else. And I learned a few things that didn't work on that particular transaction. So we'll leave it at that.
I bet. And also, I'm sure that shaped you as a leader, seeing the support that you received from them when making a mistake.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's well, here we are. I mean, this happened 20 years ago, and I'm talking about it today. So yes, absolutely. People are going to make mistakes. I like to move fast. I want to work faster. I want to grow. And when you put all that together, and I want perfect credit quality, and I want the best relationships, and I want the best pricing, and I want perfect admin. So I want perfect everything. But that's very difficult to do all at once. But that's our aspiration, and that's what we try to do. So, but the point of that is that my leadership team, as great as they are, and obviously I make mistakes. They make mistakes, but yes, having a leader back then who stood with me, and the bank that stood with me, and recognized that okay, we're building something really special in this industry. We were much smaller back then, and we had this kind of blip, which was not a minor blip. It was a pretty big blip, and to have that support and stick with me, absolutely, totally. It totally it's burned in my memory, and I have to treat others. I have to treat others with that same deference and respect, and trusting them that they will learn.
Mhm. No, I think that's great. And Joe, we're talking a little bit about some of the trends that are happening now, whether it's AI and the focus on contaminants and things like that within the industry, and of course on your um, energy and environmental side. Are you seeing increased demand for certain areas for capital, like recycling infrastructure, organics, technology, landfill gas to energy? Are you seeing certain trends that you're able to talk about?
We'll stick to we'll put energy aside, I think, but I think we'll kind of stick to the environmental services industry is um, a beautiful business, and it's a great industry full of wonderful people. Um, I don't see a big change in what is people are asking for money for. We continue to bring in new clients. We brought in 17 new clients last year. That's actually just legacy Comerica. If you add in legacy Fifth Third that now joined our team, probably 20 new clients last year, and we've already brought in. I think we'll have 5 or 6 closed here by the end of April. We're continuing to find opportunities, and the brand is very strong.
Uh-huh.
I think in the future, I think in certain geographies, in certain lines of business, you're going to see electric garbage trucks. You can see some conversions there. You're seeing a lot of capex going into recycling facilities. You're still seeing capex going into RNG, renewable natural gas facilities, on landfills, recycling infrastructure on the C&D side. We're seeing as well. There is still a tremendous amount. It's always it just really never ends. A tremendous amount of M&A in the industry. Both by our clients, by strategics, by private equity, by infrastructure funds. We see it from all angles. So that that will continue. And people ask me, they're like, well, how do you, with all this consolidation, how do you continue to find, middle market sized companies to work with? And I just tell them we have the best and the biggest army of bankers out there that their job every day is to turn over every rock and find them. And we do. And we continue to do that. And we've been doing it for a long time. So, little hidden gems, we like to find it. So it's a lot of fun. We're growing very nicely. The industry's performing really well. I think you see pockets around the country where you'll see, maybe some lower volumes on construction material. You maybe see some lower volumes on, contaminated soil, special waste, maybe a little bit on commercial in certain pockets. But by and large, the industry is extremely strong. The pricing, the industry is very CapEx intensive. The pricing in the industry over the last 5 to 7 years has improved dramatically, helping companies get a return for the capital they need to invest in everything, from their fleets to if they own landfills, recycling facilities. These are not cheap assets. These are extremely expensive, and you got to be able to make a proper margin to generate enough free cash flow to reinvest. So the industry is very healthy. The beauty of the waste and recycling industry is it's really not ever going to go obsolete. And technologies may change. I think it's going to be more on perhaps reducing labor, being more efficient, as I mentioned earlier. But it's a very low obsolescence industry, and it's going to continue to perform nicely. I think that there's always pockets of people that try to get involved in the industry and maybe are more focused on revenue and revenue growth and versus actually running a good operating company and having good margins. But our clients are doing really well. Our credit quality continues to be outstanding. So we're in a really good spot. And like I said, kind of on the onset, like when you have a really good client base, you're in a pretty good industry, and you have a lot of support behind you, and your bankers are not dealing with a lot of problems. Their portfolios are relatively clean. The only thing you have left to do is go out and grow. So that's the fun part.
That is the fun part. And you hit on this a little bit with what you just said, but are there any other segments in the industry that you're particularly bullish on?
Yeah, I'm bullish on all of them, but I think we want to do more on the industrial waste side, and we've been saying that for a while, and we're continuing to make progress. Obviously, solid waste, I think we have a very good foothold. Construction waste, we have a pretty good foothold. I think that there's some interesting opportunities in industrial waste, pure play recycling companies. Recycling has become much more bankable and economic over the last 7 or 8 years after, everybody changed after China soared, and you changed you shifted the commodity burden or the commodity risk largely back to the supplier of the commodity, and you get paid more of a processing fee, which took a lot of volatility out of recycling and frankly allows it to be, attractive to capital and banks. So yeah, we're going to continue to execute on all the above, I think that growth in the industry. I think obviously you see it in e-waste is growing. We're hearing about certain waste streams coming out of data centers. In terms of obviously very long-term mega construction projects, but the water coming out of them is interesting. We're seeing that in pockets. So there's always things that we're staying on top of, and we're looking around and seeing, okay, could that extrapolate throughout the whole country, throughout the whole industry, and how do we prepare to handle that as a bank? So.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's great. And then I mean, you've helped scale so many of these mid-market companies, and that's I know one of my favorite things about this industry is that entrepreneurial spirit and sort of that grassroots. Are you still seeing that alive and well in this country?
So that's a great question. It's something we talk about a lot. It's harder and harder and harder to be a new market entrant. It's the equipment's more expensive. The competition generally across the country has raised the bar. It's very difficult to get a disposal, a post-collection asset, but we still see it, and that's part of what I was talking about earlier, where we're always out there hunting. And
Yep.
the beauty of our business, and I want the listeners to know, is that now that we're Fifth Third and we can do much larger bank loans, we still love doing smaller deals too. And those smaller companies, we find it's always the owner and the management team. Like we'll never know as much as they do. We're partnering with them, but we don't mind doing a smaller deal with a really good leader and a good owner, and or the same person, could be the same person, and we will grow with them. And those turn out to be some of our most wonderful relationships, and they grow very nicely, and they're very loyal to us. And by the time they get to a size where our competitors want to work with them, we have gone through so much with them over so many years that they don't even take the phone call. They're so loyal to us. So we can do bigger things, but we're still going to be looking at our roots, and it goes back to helping really good entrepreneurs succeed. And it sounds simple, and you do that by being a relationship bank. And it sounds, again, very simple, but being a relationship bank and a relationship banker is very difficult to do. And being a relationship banker means a lot of different things. Some are very basic, but at its heart, you are putting yourself as a bank inside of the owner's shoes and helping them achieve their goals. And I've said it 2 or 3 times, but that's the recipe. And if you can think like that, then you're going to be very successful, not only in environmental or waste management banking, but in any type of advisory role to any type of owner or entrepreneur.
That makes sense. And I mean, you said it, think relationships, think a partner, but if someone has a waste business, what would you say they need to look for in a banking partner?
That's kind of a loaded question. Thank you, Liz. I love questions like that. Oh, just call me.
Call Joe.
I think. Listen, you need to find someone you have a connection with, because if it's largely about people, and a good banker's job is to ask you as an entrepreneur a lot of hard questions, good questions, because their job when they go back to inside of the bank is to be your biggest advocate, and be able to adequately present your business plan, where you want to go, why you want to go there, why didn't you do this, why don't they do that different, what do they think about this, what do they think about that. And if you ask all those questions as a good banker, then you can represent, and you greatly increase the chance of success of getting whatever that company wants done. So I always start with a personal connection. Obviously, I'm biased towards, find somebody who's specialized in your industry.
Sure.
People look at the waste management recycling industry and maybe say, oh, it's a simple industry. I can look at it and figure out. It's like, well, it's simple, but the more you know about it, the more you realize how difficult it is to do what this industry does every day. And I think if you think about what a great American industry this is, like during COVID, nobody talked about. Guess who didn't stop working during COVID? The garbage companies.
Right.
Those guys and gals showed up every day with all that uncertainty, went to work and did their job. And it's a phenomenal industry. It's a blue collar industry. It's one that we love. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of wonderful people, great stories. But at its heart, it's entrepreneurial. It's blue collar. We have a phenomenal client. One of the best operators that we work with over many, many years. He has a famous saying. He says, the only thing that kept him out of college was high school. And he is one of the most successful entrepreneurs, multiple times over 9-figure net worth, sold companies, built companies, did really hard things, extremely successful. And not just at operations, but also on capital markets, banking, finance, M&A. So, in my job, I can talk to a private equity person who went to Harvard 1 minute. I can get off the phone with him or her and talk to a garbage guy in Brooklyn a half hour later.
Right.
And the diversity of viewpoints and backgrounds. I don't know if there's another industry like it. It's so much fun. I love it as much today as I loved it 30 years ago, 25 years ago. So it's just a blast.
Oh, I love that.
And it's really a pleasure to serve the industry in my capacity.
Oh, I bet. And you've seen it through from start to finish to people exiting their companies. I mean, what a beautiful cycle and circle that you get to see with these amazing people.
Yeah, it really is fun, and we're really blessed to be able to help them out a little bit along the way.
Oh, I love that. And I know we've talked a lot about the acquisition. So, Joe, what do you think 1 year from now, what would make this a success in your mind?
It's going to be seamless for our clients and prospects, and I'm very confident of that. And a year from now, we'll be a little bigger because we've added some phenomenal clients, and our existing customers will continue to be very happy.
Oh, that's great. So good to hear. And I can't wait to hear more as you go and everyone else you'll be helping. Is there anything else you want to share, Joe, before I let you go? I know you're busy.
No, I appreciate it, Liz. Thanks for having me on, and appreciate the great questions, and again, really excited about the future, and really happy with the team, and confident in the team, and our clients are best in class, we believe, and we're looking to grow and invest, and so the future is very bright, and appreciate the questions, and have a great day.
All right, you too, and congrats again on everything.
Thank you.
All right, that wraps up today's episode of the Waste World podcast. Thank you again to Liz for taking over the hosting duties today, and thank you to Joe for being on the show and chatting with us and offering insights about how capital, lending, and financial strategy are influencing the future of waste, recycling, and renewable energy. Now, your job at home: rate the podcast, leave a review, subscribe to it on your podcasting host of choice, and share it with somebody. Send someone the podcast that you think, hey, they would benefit from this. Or, hey, this was entertaining and they should listen to it. So do all those things and you'll be a real cool person. And I'll think you're cool. So that's two things. You'll be cool and I will think you're cool. Thanks for listening.
3, 2,